so teasing.
I think I'm ready to go home.
Gabe,
I'm actually being serious.
No, I'm
Wait,
just
what's wrong?
teasing, Gabe.
Gabe, what's wrong? Wait, why?
What?
Gabriel, don't walk out.
The only reason I think he can take offense to this is, well, he's, this is just a...
This isn't what I want.
It's not what I want either, Robyn. It's not what I want.
It's not what I wanted either.
He was the oldest, the most mature, the peacekeeper, and for a long time, the glue that quietly held together the chaos of the Brown family. But then Logan Brown disappeared from Sister Wives. Not in a dramatic way, not with a public explosion or confrontational exit. He just faded out. And if you've been watching from the beginning, you felt it too. One moment, Logan was stepping up to help raise his younger siblings, managing birthdays, comforting the littles when Kody was gone, grilling 8 different dinners just to keep everyone happy, and then silence. He was gone, and the show barely even acknowledged it. But the truth behind Logan's absence isn't just about growing up and moving on. It runs deeper. This wasn't a regular coming-of-age departure. This was years of emotional exhaustion, of watching unfairness unfold inside your own home, realizing your voice had no value unless you played along with the rules set by 2 people, Kody and Robyn Brown. Hi friends, I'm Helena and welcome back to TLC's Sister Wives News. If you're as passionate about uncovering the truth behind these reality TV facades as I am, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and please tell me your thoughts in the comments, especially about Logan, because today I'm opening up something that's been brushed under the rug for way too long. What really happened to Logan? Why did he emotionally distance himself? And what does Robyn and Kody's forced obsession with Dayton's adoption have to do with it? Let's get into the real story, the real damage, and Logan's quiet, heartbreaking exit from a family that never really saw him. From the very first season of Sister Wives, it was clear Logan Brown wasn't just the oldest child. He was the family's unofficial 3rd parent. With 18 kids running around and Kody barely keeping track of his own emotional calendar, someone had to create structure. And that someone was a teenage boy who had no choice but to grow up fast. If you look closely in those early episodes, Logan's not goofing off or complaining. He's organizing chaos. He's directing traffic in the living room, helping his siblings with homework, keeping watch during family dinners. He's mentoring, correcting, comforting, not because he wanted to, but because no one else was doing it. When the wives were overwhelmed, especially Christine and Janelle, Logan stepped in without hesitation. Producers captured countless scenes where Logan was holding a baby, making meals, keeping peace between brothers, or calming down a crying sibling, while Kody wandered in and out, already preoccupied with his shiny new romance with Robyn. Kody would talk a lot about leading with love, but when it came to actually leading his home, Logan did more with his silence than Kody ever did with his speeches. And that's where it started. The emotional trade-off. The pressure on Logan wasn't just about chores. It was mental, too. He became an emotional buffer for the other kids, someone they leaned on when their dad was absent, someone who listened to their hurt and confusion when they didn't feel seen. But Logan was just a child himself, and that's the part that kept getting ignored. He was praised as so mature, so responsible, such a good example, as if those were rewards, not warning signs. Nobody asked Logan if it was too much. Nobody wondered what it felt like to be more of a parent to your siblings than your own father was. And slowly, that pressure morphed into distance. He stopped opening up on camera. His energy dimmed. He started pulling away emotionally, even while he kept stepping up physically. Logan was never loud. He didn't question Kody's authority in front of the camera, but the exhaustion was in his eyes. Watching him during those moments, caring for the family while being invisible inside it, you could already sense it. He wasn't going to stay forever, not because he didn't love them, but because no one taught him how to love himself first. Everything started changing the minute Robyn walked into the picture. Season 1 showed a family already stretched thin emotionally, financially, physically, yet it was still functioning in its own unique rhythm. The Brown kids had their routines, the wives had their zones of responsibility, and Logan, as always, knew where to step in when things got chaotic. But Robyn's arrival didn't just add another wife. It completely rewired the family's emotional structure, and Logan felt that shift before probably anyone else. When Kody began courting Robyn, his priorities flipped almost instantly. He was giddy, distracted, constantly leaving the original wives and households to spend time with his new love interest. This was all laid out right in front of the cameras. And Logan, he watched it all silently. He didn't cry, he didn't lash out, but viewers could see it, that internal shutdown. Logan was old enough to understand what was being lost. He wasn't just watching his dad fall in love. He was watching his dad check out from the family Logan had been helping to raise. And once Robyn and her 3 kids officially joined the family, it became even more painfully obvious where the attention was going. Kody, who barely had time for his older kids, was suddenly full of energy for Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. There were scenes where he lit up around them in ways he never did back home. And while every child deserves love, it was the imbalance that stood out, especially to someone as observant and emotionally tuned in as Logan. We saw moments where Logan wasn't even acknowledged in big family gatherings. He'd be in the background, quiet, sitting back, while Kody made special efforts with Robyn's kids, constantly reinforcing how important it was for them to feel included. Which begs the question, why didn't that same energy extend to Logan or to Gabe or to any of the other kids who were just expected to roll with it? The adoption storyline became a centerpiece. Kody and Robyn crafted a brand new narrative around making her kids his kids, parading the legal paperwork, milking reactions, and performative excitement. It was all about presenting the perfect progression: boy meets woman, man saves family, clean slate. But in that carefully scripted arc, Logan's role in the family, the years of stepping up, protecting his siblings, quietly carrying weight that wasn't his to carry, was erased. There's one scene that sticks. During an emotional group meeting, Robyn's kids cry at the idea of adoption, while Kody hugs them tightly. Cameras pan the room. Logan sits almost expressionless. His face says it all. Not anger, not jealousy, just distance. Like he'd already accepted that his role in the family no longer mattered the way it used to. That Robyn's kids were the priority now. And he didn't even make the new script. He was no longer needed as the helper, no longer cast as the responsible son. Kody had a new project, Dayton. Logan had become very quietly expendable. The Dayton adoption arc wasn't just a legal storyline. It was a production within a production. From the very beginning, the way Robyn and Kody handled it felt like it had less to do with genuine family bonding and more to do with appearances. It wasn't that adoption in itself was wrong, not at all, but how it was used, how it was staged, how it was emotionally loaded for the cameras is what made it so concerning. And people noticed, especially Logan. In the earlier seasons, Logan grew up in a house where affection was hard-earned and consistency wasn't guaranteed. Love was measured in responsibility. If you pulled your weight, maybe you got a thank you. Now, fast forward to Robyn's kids being front and center in a heavily edited adoption narrative, complete with dramatic music, big emotional speeches, and wobbly, tear-filled moments. These weren't candid home conversations. These were orchestrated scenes designed to hit us, the viewers, right in the hearts. Take the moment when Hunter walks in after Air Force training during Thanksgiving. Robyn's daughter sprints across the room in what looked more like a race for camera time than a natural rush of emotion. It felt acted, not spontaneous. And that's the pattern. Their reactions always seemed just a little too perfect, a little too heightened. They cried in every group meeting, took center stage during every decision, and seemed deeply invested in moments that frankly felt rehearsed. The pressure was emotional and public. Robyn even corrected her own kids on camera, pushing them to show more visible gratitude and excitement about being adopted by Kody. But when those reactions didn't land right, like Dayton's frozen expressions or Brianna's blank stare, there was visible frustration from Robyn and even Kody. These weren't just family conversations. It felt like performance evaluations, and it benefited them both. Kody to show himself as a savior dad, Robyn to rewrite her family's past. Meanwhile, Logan watched all of this in the same quiet way he always had. He didn't throw a fit, he didn't push back. But by then, he had emotionally checked out. The adoption wasn't about the Brown family becoming stronger. It was about building an entirely new version of the family, one where Logan didn't belong. In interviews or when the topic came up, he gave very little away. Not because he didn't care, but because he knew whatever he said wouldn't matter. The outcome had already been decided. Robyn had the narrative, Kody had bought in completely, and Logan, he was old enough to see the manipulation, old enough to see how feelings were being dialed up for the audience, and wise enough to stay silent. But silence can be the loudest response, and his distance during those heavily produced adoption sequences said everything. He wasn't angry. He wasn't bitter. He was done playing along. That was the point where Logan stopped being the loyal son. He became an observer in his own family. And once you see behind the curtain, you can't go back. Kody Brown has always claimed he loves all his kids equally, but the episodes say otherwise. Equal love isn't just about being there for birthdays or saying the right things in interviews. It's about presence, connection, consistency. And for Logan Brown, none of that was ever reliably given. Logan was the first to feel it. And over time, his younger brothers, Gabe and Garrison especially, would feel it too. But Logan learned before any of them that in Kody's world, being strong, capable, and emotionally independent meant you got pushed to the sidelines. Logan was raised to be the functional adult Kody rarely was. He didn't act out, he didn't demand anything, but instead of gaining his father's respect for stepping up, he faded into the background. And when Kody's attentions began narrowing, falling increasingly on Robyn and the children who mirrored his need for constant affirmation, Logan disappeared from the center of the family picture altogether. Because Kody didn't reward maturity, he rewarded neediness, worship. And when a child like Logan was too self-possessed to play into that, love became conditional. This pattern kept playing out child after child. We saw it again with Gabe and Garrison, especially during Koa. When they pushed back, Kody pulled back. When sons voiced boundaries or expressed frustration, they were labeled difficult or rebellious. But Logan was the first to take the hit. He just took it quietly. There's a huge difference between being emotionally distant and emotionally selective. Kody was never emotionally checked out entirely. He was very present when it suited him. Just look at how he treated Solomon and Ari when they were little. Solomon, once the poster child of father-son bonding, slowly vanished from Kody's priorities as he got older, more reserved. But Ariella, became the new center of affection. She fit Kody's personality, witty, cuddly, attention-seeking. Kody clung to that. He still does. And no moment made that clearer than Gwen's engagement party. While celebrating, Kody openly gushed about Ari, calling her better than his own grandchildren. It was awkward, almost cruel in its delivery. And then there was Solomon, once Kody's favorite. Barely acknowledged, shown skipping rocks in the background, having zero interaction with his father. That's what matters with Kody. Match his energy or you're out. Logan never matched Kody's energy. Because Logan wasn't about ego or performance. He was focused on stability, service, order, the things a healthy family is supposed to value. But in the Brown home, those traits didn't earn affection. They earned invisibility. The more Logan did, the more he became forgotten, and he knew it. There's a tragic irony in watching someone give so much to a system that barely notices them. Logan didn't rebel, he slowly stepped away. That quiet, emotional shutdown, that invisible grieving, that was a boy who learned early. If you're strong, you're on your own. To be seen by Kody, you had to meet him.
And Logan refused to play that game. By the time the Flagstaff move was announced, Logan was already out of the house, but not out of reach. He still rotated back in for family events, holidays, special moments, but his body language had changed. His tone was measured. The lightness he'd once had around his siblings was duller. And when Kody rolled out his over-the-top, we go one, we go all relocation pitch with those infamous printed booklets and dramatic explanations, Logan wasn't buying it. Neither were most of the older kids, if we're being honest. But what made it worse was the performance of it all. Kody acted like this was a big shared decision, like he was unveiling a vision he'd been working through with all the wives, thoughtfully and fairly. But you didn't have to be behind the scenes to know Robyn already had a front row seat to the plan. She opened her booklet like she'd already read it. She sat calm, supportive, collected, while everyone else looked blindsided. Dayton's college interest in Flagstaff was the cover story. But let's be real. This wasn't for Dayton's independence. It was about keeping control, keeping Robyn's nuclear family intact at all costs. And Logan saw it plain as day. By this point, he was fully immersed in college life, focused on his own career and partnership with Michelle. His emotional bandwidth for family drama had run out. He'd done his time, done more than his share. But here was Kody once again shaking up everyone's stability, not for unity, but to chase calm through geography. Only this time, Logan didn't take the bait. He stayed out, stayed quiet. That was his final act of detachment. Meanwhile, Dayton became the new emotional project. His safety, his feelings, his every move was framed as sacred territory. The decision to move the entire family to a new state, uprooting everyone supposedly because Dayton might consider college there. Compared to Logan, who moved away for school with little fanfare, zero emotional spotlight, and no strategic family shifts to support him. That was the moment Kody divorced not just the wives, he divorced the original Brown family structure. The chaos, the dysfunction, it didn't chase Logan out. He'd survived that. What drove him away was being written out of the new script entirely. And unlike some of his siblings, Logan didn't need to explain himself. He just walked quietly, cleanly, like someone who had made peace with being forgotten. Logan didn't slam the door on his way out. He didn't film a tearful confession. He didn't call out Kody on social media or walk into family meetings demanding accountability. He just exited, slowly, quietly, on his own terms. And in doing so, he did something powerful. He protected himself. Out of all 18 Brown children, Logan was the first to truly leave emotionally. And not just because he aged out or got busy with adult life, he saw the writing on the wall early. He recognized the favoritism, the gaslighting, the pageantry of parenting that Kody and Robyn perfected. And rather than fight for scraps of attention, Logan chose peace. Silence became his boundary. Some of his siblings took different paths. Gabe and Garrison pushed back, argued, fought for connection and clarity, and were cut off. Some didn't push at all and became part of the bubble Kody and Robyn built around themselves. Ari, for example, is still front and center in Kody's affection, for now. Others, like Gwen, expressed their pain more publicly, stepping into their truth with frustration and courage. But Logan, he told the truth by disappearing. He wasn't exiled. He just stopped participating in the performance, the holiday chaos, the family loyalty tests, the fake group decisions. He exchanged all of it for a real life with real emotional safety, not built on conditional love or camera-ready forgiveness. And honestly, it says everything that his absence still stings so many fans, because Logan mattered. His steady presence showed what reliability looked like in a house full of broken promises. But Kody never truly saw him, not the way Logan needed to be seen. And by the time Kody realized what he lost, Logan was long gone. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Logan made the right decision by stepping away? Did Robyn's arrival and Dayton's adoption storyline push him out sooner than anyone realized? And when exactly did Kody lose control of the family he claimed to be holding together? Leave your thoughts below. I read every single comment. If this episode resonated with you, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to stay close to everything happening in the world of Sister Wives. I'm Helena, and this is TLC's Sister Wives News. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.